towards such projects. The name of the organization will be in a day or two revealed, but that organization will take care of providing credit enhancement facility for infrastructure and other housing projects. The government would soon take further action on development of credit default swap markets in consultation with the RBI and SEBI. In order again to improve domestic markets in bonds, Ministry of Finance will work with the RBI to make it more conducive for investors and for bond issuers, as well as facilitate increased trading for price discovery, a lot more open market-driven kind of a price discovery mechanism. Government has amended the Companies Act, you all know, to remove requirement for creation of debenture redemption reserve, the DRR, of outstanding debentures in respect of listed companies, NBFCs, and for the HFC. Again, continuing on the capital flows, access of Indian companies to the global market. The Depository Receipt Scheme of 2014 is expected to be operationalized soon by SEBI. This will give Indian companies increased access to foreign funds through the ADR and GDR. And this is something which repeatedly industry kept referring to us when they came in for consultation. We clearly yielded on that, and we shall organize ourselves in order to be able to service this. The next is use of Aadhaar-based KYC. Again, a big suggestion which has come during consultations. The consultation that we had with industry, with others, this has come out as one of the big demands. In order to improve market access for the domestic retail investors, Aadhaar-based KYC to be permitted for opening demat accounts and making investment in mutual funds. Necessary notification for amendments in the PMLA rules will be issued sooner. So that takes care of the Aadhaar and KYC. Simplified KYC procedures to improve market access for foreign investors, including the FPIs. So this will be introduced sooner, and that will make the whole process simplified. I go to the next silo, which is there's one more here in the capital flows. Offshore rupee market. I'm sure many of you are interested in it. To bring offshore rupee market to domestic stock exchanges and to permit trading of the US dollar, Indian rupee derivatives in the GIFT IFSC. Ministry of Finance is working with RBI to introduce this measure shortly, and this will enable the rupee market to the domestic stock exchanges. We now move to the fifth silo. I've finished with 4 silos. Now the fifth one is on infrastructure. On infrastructure, again, the discussions went on for a long time. Different sections had different inputs to give us. We are responding to all of them. One which was outstanding was that a lot of payment gets delayed from the government and public sector undertaking. They do the job, but they don't get their money. And it's held with the government departments or with the CPSEs. So now we have very clearly said, delayed payments from government CPSEs to be monitored by Department of Expenditure and performance reviewed by the Cabinet Secretariat with a dashboard in front of it. I must thank Secretary Murmu. Even as we are saying this, he's cleared, I understand, nearly 30,000 crores of payment for all those who are waiting for clearance, which are government departments and also CPSE. So money actually going into the hands of who were waiting for it. Money actually not getting locked up, liquidity reaching where it should reach. And I'm sure with the Cabinet Secretariat monitoring it, Secretary Expenditure should be, except in those cases which are under litigation, clear up all the due payments. So that's happening. The next is very important. It may be an old decision. It may be something which has existed from Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time onwards, and it benefited industries for some time. And after that, God knows what happened. It reached a stagnation. but we are reviving that, and through that assuring corporate sector that they after arbitration, this is a decision of that time, after arbitration, 75% of the arbitration award will be released. But then what happened when it reached a stagnation? Banks were risk averse. They didn't want to cover them for the delayed period after the arbitration. The interests were mounting. The interests were double of what is otherwise the interest due to them. And because of that, banks were risk averse. They said we wouldn't cover it. Now we are making necessary changes. Secretary Finance will be working together with bank. Secretary DEA will also be working with Reserve Bank and banks to ensure that the risk aversion based on that multiplying interest will be addressed, and we shall immediately move on paying the 75% based on arbitration, and the risk aversion because of the mounting interest will be sorted out. So as a result, many of those cases which after arbitration are still waiting to get their monies will get their 75% straight away. So that's a relief we wish to offer industry. The next one is the issue of the 100 lakh crores for developing infrastructure, which was announced earlier. I just want to very clearly tell you, after the announcement, we've moved those cases which after arbitration are still waiting to get their monies will get their 75% straight away. So that's a relief we wish to offer industry. The next one is the issue of the 100 lakh crores for developing infrastructure, which was announced earlier. I just want to very clearly tell you, after the announcement, we've moved forward. An interministerial task force has been formed by the Department of Economic Affairs. Secretary Department of Economic Affairs is here, and they shall finalize the pipeline through which various projects will get funded quickly so that infrastructure work does not get delayed any further. The above initiative is expected to boost growth and create jobs. These projects would be monitored actively to accelerate capital expenditure and investment in the economy. So just not 100 lakh crores, task force is working, it's moving the projects, funding the money which is given, which is already announced, and through this there should be speedy implementation of the infrastructure related money that we've allotted in the budget. I move over to another thing which many of you are waiting, a lot of speculation on it, the automobile sector. The automotive sector has been meeting us both as industry and also individually who came and spoke to us about it. I'm glad to tell you a few things about the responses that we've given in this matter. The BS4 vehicles was a big issue. A lot of companies had provided and started producing, and they are producing it even now. There was this confusion because government wanted to make an announcement as regards encouraging electric vehicles, encouraging electric batteries and so on. So that confusion we want to dispel completely. BS vehicles which are purchased as up to 31/3, oh God, that reads 30, 31/3/20. We didn't intend till 2030. It is 2020. So BS4 vehicles which are purchased up to 2020 March will all remain operational for their entire period of registration. So it's not as if from 2020 BS4 vehicles are all off the road, not at all. As long as their registration is on, they will be allowed and they will be as good as any other vehicle. The next point, very important again, the revision of one-time registration fee. There was really a lot of heartburn, understandably, on the registration fee being asked up front and so on. We have deferred it till June 2020. There is no need on that to have any worry. The next is, importantly, because inventories are stocking up and piling up in car manufacturing companies. Today, you get a 15% depreciation on them. an additional 15% depreciation on all vehicles, not only this, not only that, on all vehicles, to increase it to 30% acquired during the period from now till March 2020. All vehicles acquired, irrespective of the type, any vehicle acquired from now till March of 2020 will benefit from an additional 15% depreciation, so taking it to a total of 30% depreciation on all of them. We move over to the next. Both EVs and the internal combustion vehicles will continue to be registered. So the fear that what happens to my BS4 vehicle need not be in anybody's mind. The government's focus will be on setting up infrastructure for development of ancillaries and components, including batteries for export. But both EVs and ICVs will continue to be registered. The next one, in order to boost demand, government shall lift the ban on purchase of new vehicles to replace all old vehicles by government departments. So government departments, which till now had a ban on them that they can't buy vehicles even to replace the old ones, will now be actively told to please replace your old ones. Please replace your old one, go buy new vehicles, bring them on. So the inventory to that extent will be first we start the charity at home. We shall buy all the vehicles which we need to replace those vehicles which are with us. So money will go into the car manufacturers' hands, and therefore I hope after that the component manufacturers will also get paid for all the supplies that they've made. So that's an important point I want to draw your attention to for boosting demand. The next one in that, again to boost demand, government will consider various measures